I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Oy vey. No, I will actually address this. Fennel Seed says kids are kids worldwide, all the same. But that's our job as parents to teach how. Well, they're not my biological kids, but I have two for children that are living here with me, and we have also her daughter who's visiting with her boyfriend. He's pretty cool. Well, they're all cool, but there's these little bugaboos like this, which are not, it's definitely a bugaboo. Because, first of all, it's a waste of money, it's a waste of good food. I guarantee you, if food was scarce locally, nationally, whatever, they'd be eating everything that's on that table. There would not be anything going to waste. I guarantee it. Unless you left 18 years old, they can pull that shit in their own homes, not yours. Exactly. Well, no, the daughter is over 18 years old. Her boyfriend's over 18 years old. But sometimes I think I do more parenting than my girlfriend does to her kids. I know I take care of the dogs a lot better than anybody in here, and I give them an enormous amount of attention, more than human kids get from their parents these days. I'm not kidding you. I'm not excited. I think you've seen me the way I even say goodnight to my dogs, practically tuck them in. I know, what a guy, right? No, I'm at the point now where I'll clean my own dishes just to make a point. I'll clean my own, and I'm not going to be volunteering anything like it. Hold on, hold on, Kai. I wanted to show you something here, and I want to show everybody else what a waste this is. This milk is no good in boiling milk because we don't have refrigerator. This is almost a half a container. We have broccoli. We have left over there. We have juice. And we have a whole pot of rice from overnight from all the rice that we made. So I'm just trying to point out that we need to eat what's in front of us. I mean, look at all that wasted rice. Do you see how much is in that pot? We got a whole pot of rice over here. I'm going to address this to others too, okay? But I mean, look, come here. Honestly, look how much is in here. That's a whole pot of rice. It's no good overnight. It's not been refrigerated. And that's a major waste. All right. I'll talk to the others about this too. Nah, not a word. I mean, didn't I just tell you? Didn't I just tell you? You're not going to say a word about this. I just showed him. I just showed you. I brought him over here and I showed all the waste on the table. Yeah. You wield a hammer around here, huh? Well, you know, sometimes you have to. And I don't care if I'm not their real blood parent, but they're living under my house. It's my house too. And I mean, I don't know. I could go on with this forever, but I don't really think it'll ever be resolved unless you really would actually have to impress upon the issue. Ah, Christ. Hold on. Okay, live. So, how come they don't make just enough rice to eat?
I cooked that one, but they didn't eat the rice last night.
Yeah, I know,
So
but
we don't put in refrigerator, just leave there, and then this morning I want to
yeah, I
make
know. But you
fried
made
rice.
but you made a lot of rice, and they didn't eat it. That's the point, right? Then it was expensive, very healthy broccoli was just laying on the table. Nobody ate that, and
You put a lot of broccoli.
that wasn't a lot. I could eat a whole half a bag of broccoli.
That way you don't finish it.
Then there's what else? Yeah, I know because we don't have the refrigerator running till we get the part in a couple of days. But don't you think that? Don't you think that they should only make enough rice for how much they're going to
I
eat?
just only 2 cups of rice I cooked last night.
Is that 2 cups of rice?
Yeah,
Makes
just
that much, huh?
yeah, 2 cups naman na eh. Just little cups.
Okay, I'm just saying that I just feel it's a really big waste. It's a really big waste. Anyway, I presented it to Kai. I showed him everything on the table, and I showed him the rice pot there, and of course, he didn't say a word. But okay, I'm just going to have a when they're up and around today. I'm just going to have a talk with all of them and explain my my thoughts about unnecessary waste. It don't matter if we're millionaires or we're poor people. Waste is still waste as far as I see it. Now, am I wrong about thinking that way? I don't think I am. But I'm just making a point. There's just too much waste. I could have used that leftover broccoli for the dog next door, for our dogs to mix it into their
It's
kibble.
okay lah because that one is it's a it's not that poisonous that the food. It's okay. Why the before we don't have refrigerator, they live longer using that just cover up and then leftover they eat
No,
dig it up.
well, leftovers can't be left out too long. First of all,
Yeah.
can't be left out too long.
If like that, so old people now, mostly Filipino doing like that, so old die already.
Well, no, Filipinos have cast iron stomachs.
It's depend on
Compared to us
it's
foreigners, I think they have cast iron. They could eat anything left over for 3 days, and they probably wouldn't get sick. But there's always that unusual situation where they actually will get sick, and you may not relate it to the leftover food. And that's another thing too. Um, what is the limit of folks? What is the limit on the time that you should even eat leftover food? And that's even when it's refrigerated. I don't know. I guess I'm not a chance taker with something like that. This wasn't going to be the topic about it this morning, actually, but I I came across this and I figured, oh, this is great. It's actually, oh man, it's actually cool out here. It's windy. It's almost like I need a jacket. Cool morning going on here. Wow. But here's the thing. You're not. You got to really argue with a Filipina. You're not going to win. Nor will you win in America if you get an argument with your wife or something. You basically have to be a yes man. Yes, ma'am. You're right. You're right. You're right. Have you heard that before? It's actually true. You're not going to win. Well, first of all, you're never going to win if you meet like one of those Karens, right? One of those Karens, you're never going to win an argument with a Karen. You'll never win an argument with a black woman, not in argument's sakes. You'll never win an argument with a Filipina. So instead of creating stress, you talk very nicely. Did you hear me talk? You talk very nicely. You talk about the situation. You don't get into an argument. You talk very nice. Look, you give your opinion. I think this is a waste. I think this is blah, 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 blah. There you go. There you go. Get used to it. But there's nothing perfect in this world either, is there? No. But most people know that. You'll never win an argument with a woman. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to just give in. But I don't give in. I'm one of these rare dudes. I'll say it nicely, but I'm going to make my point. I don't care how much I love the person. I don't care if they're my blood or not my blood or whatever. I'm going to lay it out and say, hey, come on, this ain't cool, you know? Let's try to, do this better way or, respect the fact that, we're never going to starve. And we know that we'll never starve. But at the same time, we as people, most of the population, a lot of it, are never going to starve. There are nations where people are starving. But then us people who will always have a meal, we don't always appreciate it as much until you get yourself into a situation, you're living on the streets or something, and maybe then you'll understand about food, and you won't waste anything. Although, I've actually given to street beggars. Oh, I'm hungry. I need food, but they didn't want my food. I buy them a McDonald's hamburger. They look at me like, "What am I going to do with that?" They weren't looking for food. Some were, yeah, but I've seen that in America too. I've seen it in Hawaii, of all places. They'd be around Safeway. The wife would be on one end of the parking lot where people come in and out. The husband or whatever be on the other end. Need food, hungry for family, or need help us out, whatever, right? So you go and buy them a hamburger, and they have a dog with them. They give it to their dog. Well, at least this dog got nutrition. It's just like walking around with a gas can in your hand, an empty gas can. Hey man, can you help? This was the best one. And I used to see that a lot in Hawaii. It's oh, I need some gas. They don't even own a car. They don't even own a car. Well, some of them did, but own a car, but you know, they really didn't need gas. They just wanted your money to buy their drugs and alcohol, of course, alcohol. Exactly. Okay, I got it. Okay, thanks, fennel seed. Everybody has their own little scam going. Seems to be the key words lately. Scams. So many scams on YouTube. And yes, they're worth talking about. Yeah, they are. No, when the others wake up, I'm going to talk to them. I don't let things go that easy. Now, see, the thing is, our refrigerator's not working till we get this part in a few days. So it's stupid to make a lot of food, and you know it's not gonna be because it all goes to waste. Now, if I knew they were gonna waste that broccoli, I would have ate it myself, even though I had my share of broccoli, right? Because I like broccoli. But or as I said, I would have incorporated, saved it somehow. Even if I had to freeze it again in a freezer and defrost it and mix it with my dog's kibble, which is very healthy. Or I have which is a very emaciated dog that stays next door that I'm always feeding. And, as long as it didn't contain onion or garlic or anything that dogs can't take, I would have mixed it with that dog's kibble too. Anyway, I think you get my point on this, right? You back again? No, I don't think that's really mixed. Well, whether it's you or somebody else, you're gone. God, talk about obsession. Yeah, I'm sure he did another live stream. So I do a lot of live streams too. I did one yesterday, last night. I'm doing one this morning. So what's your point? What's your point? I think in this world that you got to concentrate on is taking care of yourself. I think that's what it really comes down to. Let others do what they're going to do, but you may have a better way of doing things, so you do it a better way. See how calm and collective I am about this? If you caught me in a really bad mood, I probably would be a little more intense. You know, might even ensue an argument or something on this shit, but I didn't want to go there. It's too early in the morning to even do that if I wanted to. You see, my approach was very kind. It was very gentle. I talked very softly about the food. And, well, a lot of Filipinos do this. Well, you know, who's paying for this? You or me? How's that? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like taking your money and just burning it. Here's 1,000 pesos. I don't even know if that would burn. What is it made of? Probably go up in black smoke. It's made out of plastic now, isn't it? The currency, the so-called paper money. Probably couldn't even, well, do that successfully without choking to death on the black petroleum that was used in there or something. You can't win. Now, this is a good show. It was unintended, but I think this is a good morning show, if I say so myself, and I do say so. Okay, can we move on with this? Shit. Even sleep. I got up a couple of times last night, man. It's like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Now, at my age, we all have enlarged prostates. I know I do. But it's not normal for me to get up overnight because I have to piss. But it's kind of like, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? Are you getting up because, well, you normally do get up once or twice a night, you wake up? Or is it because you have to take a piss? Or since you're up already, do you just go ahead and take a piss because you probably have to? So kind of an interesting thought on that, isn't it? Yeah, it's what came first, the chicken or the egg situation. Did you get up because you had to piss, or did you wake up because you normally wake up once or twice a night, go back to sleep, you know? Haven't totally figured it out yet. Could be both. Excuse me while I enjoy some of my tea. What are you going to do? So, I don't know. What would you do? Do you approach your family, or do you just say nothing? You know, so you don't stress out. I mean, those are your choices. Should you say something, or just let it be and say fuck, whatever? No, I've never been one of these fuck whatever guys. Not in situations like this. Now, this isn't a big catastrophe going on here, but it's just something that I notice a lot, you know. Now, I've been really cool. I'm not going to wash dishes in the sink. I'm going to wash my own. That's what I've been doing. I give in now and then. I wash the dishes, be a good boy, and do my job. But I'm not doing it no more. I should yell at them in the window, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. Well, there are subtler ways of doing things too. You could be subtle about it and still make a point. There's an art to that, really. Okay. There was really no particular topic this morning. What was I going to talk about anyway? I just kind of leaned into this one. Not too much for Popeye to talk about, really. Because everything I said makes sense. But he'll find a way to turn that around, I'm sure. Or Don C, of course. Can't leave out Don C. I would never do that. Come on. Why would I ever do that? Okay, let's see. Oh, it had to do with being a kind person, a good sanimitarian, as I'll call it, a good sanimitarian, helping people, winning awards. Okay, that's what I was going. Okay. Can I show you this, sweetie?
Yes, sure. Okay, I saw already.
You saw already. What do you think about this? Listen, folks, listen. Don't you think this is a waste? Look, what do you think? See, walks away. See? See? Oh my God, Magnum.
You're asking me what there is. You know what?
That's a waste.
You're blaming me. This one, no refrigerator. You cannot put in the freezer. This one you cooked last night.
Well, they should have finished the milk, right?
You
Right?
must finish your meal.
Exactly. This should have been finished. We
This
put it
one,
out
you
for
just
them,
put
right?
there and throw away. Oh, see? Oh, that one.
No, that's not a waste. That's dog food. That's not going to go bad. That was for the other dog next door.
Morning, you're doing that.
Early morning, you're doing that, she says. Well, I got a fresh mind. I got fresh thoughts, and I'll do it in the morning. I'll do it at night. I'll do it by taking a shit. That's not going to stop me from offering my opinion about something. Yeah, Filipinas are the best women in the world. Well, they are actually, but there's certain things you got to deal with. Yeah, they are. They are. They are the best. But like we always talk about, we talk about cultural differences and stuff. And there are. There are. And believe me when I tell you, I'm no expert on the culture. I just hatched out of the shell, as far as being an expert on anything. I was just born as far as that's concerned. I do know a lot about the culture, but I don't know everything. To me, this is simply a waste. And what could you argue about that? You can make a show about this, copy my channel. Am I saying anything wrong? No. She says, well, the milk, since the refrigerator, we don't have it working right now. We couldn't put it in. Well, before you're going to touch that milk, make sure everybody drinks it and let's not waste it. Right? Am I wrong? I know you guys not, having a little bit of comeback to me on this issue, but except Mr. Fennel earlier, but I mean, am I wrong or right? I'm one or the other, right? Okay. Now, I held this dog food in here because last night I couldn't find that dog next door. I don't know where he went in the nighttime because he's deaf and doesn't walk very well. But okay, user says, no, your right resource management is appropriate. Well, thank you on that. I appreciate that. I think it is. I mean, not everybody's going to agree. Not everybody agrees with me on anything on my shows. I mean, to begin with, right? Now, this don't go bad. That's kibble, fucking preservatives, all this shit. This was meant for the dog next door. I couldn't find it next door. Now, they would not think about helping the dog next door. That's the thing, they would not go out of their way to feed this dog. There's not enough compassion for animals out here. That's the truth. And that's the truth. And everybody knows that, I happen to like animals. I know this animal next door. It's not my dog. It's not even my neighbor's dog. He hangs around the guy's house because there was a house way back in the guy's lot that the owners of two dogs, one of them disappeared and probably died because he was in bad shape. This one here hangs around because, well, he knows he can get food and this is his turf. He used to live at that house. There's people abandoned their little house because they had owed money to a lot of people and they just basically ran away. Sounds familiar out here? Yeah, it does. See, here we go. Let's get into culture. Let's get into, dogs. What about that? So I take it upon myself to feed this dog. To me, it's an obligation because I know he's not the healthiest dog and he's pretty old. He lost his hearing and, he has trouble with his back legs. He kind of limps a lot, probably in pain, arthritis, but he got clipped a couple of times by a trike, Well, there you go, right on top of that. So I don't see no problem with helping this dog out. It makes me feel good about myself that I'm doing something to help. They talk about all these good sanimitarians on here that want to win awards for being the best exemplary, foreigners out here that do so good for their community. And that's why I was laughing at Philly in the Philippines nomination for this prestigious award for foreigners on social media that are making a positive difference in the Philippines. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? My God. Then you really know who the people are. You know, none of these people deserve some nomination for such an award like that. And you got to laugh. And I did. I did because you know better. You listen to these people. Do I deserve an award like that? No. But comparably, I think I probably would deserve it more than Philly and the Philippines would. That's the point I was making on yesterday's show, if you were listening. A couple of times, actually. Funny as shit. In fact, if you know, it's hilarious, really. We know these people real well, don't we? And some newbies, you may not know who I'm talking about, but there's a vlogger on here that's been on for a long time who really is a troll in many ways. And he's come down on Filipinos too, like Filipino P and other people. And he used to walk the streets of Angeles City all the time, just photographing all the whores in the street, which is kind of promoting prostitution because he's focusing his camera. See, when you have a camera, you focus on a subject, right? It could be a landscape, could be a seascape. But what he used to do is always focus on the whores. Everybody knows that, not made up. Okay. But this nomination goes to people who have shown such concern about the Filipino people, the culture, the country, and they do no wrong. And that's why I was laughing about this. And that's why I even talked about it on my show. Because we know the guy. And I'm sure everybody's also snickering too at this because, what, a nominee for, I forgot the name of the award again, but they have particular ones. And there's a couple of Filipinos that they created this foundation. And it's not just for foreigners that do good, but it's also for Filipinos in business world that have contributed somewhat to the community and their businesses contributed and all that great stuff. And that's fantastic to have something like that. I think that's good to give people recognition for the good work that they do, right? I'm all for that. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that. Okay, Susso, come here. All right, you said hello to your daddy. Look at this baby. Okay, baby. Yeah, good morning to you too. Okay, so no, I don't have a problem like that, but choose the right nominees. And it's not that I have a personal gripe with the person, but you see, I've been on here long enough to know better. That's my only point. That's the only point I'm making here. There's no jealousy the fact he's nominated. I mean, I would never be a nominee for something like that. I admit it. But at the same time, I have probably done more since I've lived out here in this wonderful country of the Philippines than these goobers on a personal level and otherwise. I mean, I know I have, but I'm not looking for the Foreigner of the Year award in any form or way. That's not what I'm doing. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying they don't know him very well. He'll go on Discord and other places and cause havoc. He's not innocent. That's all I'm saying. And also, you have to have people to nominate you. So, probably got a few people say, yeah, let's nominate. Let's get them to nominate me. Get them to nominate me. Would I be surprised you did that? No, because that's how it works. You got to find some people that that are aware. And this guy's pretty sharp too. He's very sharp. He knows how to bait people on here, clickbait. He knows how to get people to come to his show and listen to his show. He's very knowledgeable. He's not stupid. He's not stupid. He's not stupid at all. That's why he's got over 100,000 subscribers. He knows the tricks of the trade. So I'm sure he's heard about this program and said, yeah, it would be great if I could get nominated for that. And you have to have people nominate you. That's the way it works. Because they don't, this committee doesn't know you for jack shit. Unless they're like peering through all the videos on there. Oh, this guy sounds like, let's see, he's got over 100,000 subscribers. Let's see what he's talking about. And they might have caught a couple of shows of his. Oh, gee, he's really representing the people in a nice way. Now, I've seen him walk the streets and make really crude comments about Filipino-run stores, their prices, or he kind of snickers at something going on in the street, a street person. I saw it all. I saw it all. Okay, my own eyes, my own ears. That's my point. Hey, if you're like, quasi citizen of the year, foreigner, and you do some fantastic things for the people, by all means, they should be recognized. I'm all for that. I don't have a problem with that at all. But when you're going to nominate somebody who doesn't deserve to be on a nominee list, I'll talk about it, which I've been. You see, people don't know everything about people on here until you've actually listened to them for years. Sometimes it does take a number of years. It could maybe only take a couple of shows of theirs to kind of figure people out. But generally, you learn about somebody over time. You remember the things they said, their comments, how they treated people on the street. This guy, remember, he used to live in Angeles City a lot. And how did he make his viewers? How did he get an audience? I'm going to tell you how he got an audience, which everybody knows, which other vloggers have copied. Scotty copies that. Other people copy that. JLB used to do that shit, where they roam the streets, mostly Angeles City, where all the whores are. And they set their camera focus on the whores. And they are, of course, Filipinas in the streets. That's their job, to make money by the sex trade. And this guy used to follow them around all the time for subject matter. Others have done that too. Many others, actually. It's something I never did. Maybe I have more subscribers if I did, but I don't go that route. And I won't go that route. It's kind of demeaning, really. And there were times I think he even got in trouble on the street a couple of times, but maybe they didn't want they didn't want themselves to be photographed by him. I've heard some snide comments from him when he's walking the streets too. Nothing wrong with my memory with stuff like that. That's the only reason I brought this up, just to clarify. That's the only reason I brought it up. When I seen that he presented us, she goes, "Oh, I'm so proud of myself, whatever." What an honor. Well, you don't deserve it. If I thought he did, I'd say, "Hey, congrats, dude. Right on, brother. For being an exemplary, foreigner, supporting the culture, absorbing the culture, giving. I've never seen him give to anybody. Not in my not that I could recall. Maybe I missed something on here. I'll allow for that, but I have not really seen him put out an extra peso to anyone, meaning Filipinos. I haven't seen it. Maybe you have. I mean, I don't watch his show religiously. But to my knowledge, I've never seen him being a generous person to people. I haven't seen it. All right, I guess I made my point. Long form. Otherwise, I've just been keeping up with the news going on. It gets better and better every day. Sorry, you're going to hear a vacuum cleaner in the background, the other room. Phone probably picks it up. It's not that bad. I think if you're going to run a show, I think you have the right to comment on stuff like this. It's your own show. You can do what you want within limits, I think, of course, obviously. But I think it's really important to express yourself on situations like this. Waste or bullshit awards that people don't deserve, people that are entirely attack channels, lying and bullshitting that goes on YouTube. But there are some fantastic vloggers out there, actually. I have a list in my mind, but unless I wrote it on paper, I couldn't give you that list. But there are people that run some fantastic shows that don't get involved in all the activity of the trolls, and they stay away from that. And some of the best shows that I have found personally are the ones that don't go live. It seems that most of the troublesome shows are the people who go live on their show. And I was recalling the other day to my audience how I remember a time when people just basically uploaded videos and they were the most successful videos where people sat down and listened and they didn't have to succumb to rude comments and stuff like that. They chose a topic matter and they went for it. Whether you're going to go out scuba diving, they did a show about that, even went underwater with their cameras, which was pretty cool. Whatever they were doing, maybe there's a charity benefit or something that they organized. Okay. And I can't say all of them were legitimate. Unfortunately, a lot of them weren't. And, you know, I know a current channel right now, two of them that are basically scamming people left and right, but we won't get into that this morning. You got your do gooders and you got your do bullshitters out here. You know, I don't know what's the purpose of putting a channel together when you're just going to bullshit all the time. And when you're just stuck on topic matter, just don't even put a show on if you don't have topic matter. But as again and again and again, when you're monetized, you become enslaved to your monetization and you have to put show after show after show after show on. You got to keep up with the algorithms, right? It's a word I've been using a lot that I've never used in my life for anything, whether it's a sleep algorithm or whatever, but I've never used that word until YouTube. And people were going live and they were concerned about their algorithms, how this stuff is going to get out to the audience retention, all that stuff. You become enslaved to it. I don't want to be a slave to anything. And I don't need the money that bad that I need to be fully monetized and have to enslave myself to that and put on multiple shows. I do multiple shows by choice, not expecting any rewards all these years. I guess that's the difference between me and a lot of these long term, call them successful vloggers. Whether material on their show is great or not, they're still making money. But they know the formula to do that. And they exercise that formula. They know the ins and outs and the tricks of the trade. And they do a very good job of it, I must say. Kudos to them. But at least talk about something that's current or world events or something interesting for people to listen to instead of the same old rhetoric all the time. I think that's a problem with a lot of shows. Look at people like Popeye who comes on because he may not agree, he gets very sensitive to what I talk about on my show, so he feels he has to come on, plays my show live, and then has his big, you know, speech afterwards about going over everything I said on my show, taking it apart piece by piece. And then we have a show that's basically devoted to my show, and they record everything I put on here. Not even a purpose to it. Because most of the time I leave my shows on. Every now and again I'll take a show off because I thought it was so fucking boring that I didn't want to keep it on. That's about it. Otherwise, I'll just keep it on. Anyway, I got to figure that's a little early to eat. I should wait a little while. Probably eggs, probably oatmeal. Oh, don't mention oatmeal on here. They're going to fall apart. And forbid that I found some blueberries to go with it. People are holding their chest out there. Their heart's going out of rhythm, having angina because of oatmeal and blueberries. It's so true. Anyway, I got the dogs to attend to, and I got some other shit to attend to. So I'm going to finish my tea, if you don't mind, and have a little talk with the little lady. I don't like to approach these things in the morning. But I'm the kind of person I got to deal with things that come forward to me. But I definitely have a view that agree with me on this. I mean, waste is waste. Okay, I don't care how much money you have or how much money you don't have. Waste is waste. We're too spoiled in this society. Look at the restaurants. You know what they do with the food? They throw it away. Look at a lot of restaurants. A lot of people have a dinner and they don't eat half what's on their plate. Well, generally, a restaurant owner, you know, because your mouth was on that food or whatever, which I understand to a certain point. They'll just throw it all away. But it could be reheated and probably kill any bacteria, whatever. And they could put a good meal together, leftover meat, you have broccoli, you have vegetables. And somebody in the street might need a good meal. Invite them in. Say, hey, look, if you don't mind, this is leftover from my customers. But, you know, I really don't want to waste this. And if you need a good meal, I'm going to present you with a meal if you don't mind. And they wouldn't mind. They wouldn't mind. See, somebody agrees with me that goes 100s on here. They wouldn't mind at all. It's a meal for them. They've eaten worse. They are pizzerias. I know this for sure. People order a pizza from a pizzeria, right? As a joke. And they go over and they make a couple of pizzas and nobody's picking it up. So they can't sell it as fresh to their customers that come in. They're waiting for their pizza at the store rather than a call in order, like for a delivery. Well, the way it usually happens, it's a call in order. Somebody will say, hey, I need this kind of pizza, that kind of Hawaiian pizza. I want this, that, pepperoni, whatever. Okay, so they don't come and pick it up. So where's it wind up? It winds up in a dumpster in back of the restaurant. And I remember these stories in Seattle where I lived that these very people were the very ones that would call in and do that. Fresh pizza. Oh yeah, you could have pizza lay in a as long as it's in a cardboard box, you could lay in there for a couple of hours. There's no problem with it. It's clean. It's not heavily laden with bacteria. It's perfect. It's fine. And this is what they did. They're very clever. Very clever. I'm getting a smiley face. What else am I getting on here? And people do that. Hey, look, when you're hungry, right? But it was wrong what the person did, obviously, right? It's really wrong to call in and order pizza that you're not going to go in there and pay for. But people do desperate things when they're in a desperate situation, right? Ice cream cones, smiley faces. Look at that going up my screen here. Like I'm either right or I'm wrong, right? It's one or the other with me. There's no in between with me. I'm either right about something or I'm wrong about something. And I am very opinionated on my show, and that's part of who I am, and that's who I will continue to be on my own show. Again, we all have our own opinions, but I'm a little different because I base my opinion on facts. But I don't want to have to dwell on that again about the fact finding and blah, 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 blah. If you've been listening for me for a while, you kind of know where I'm coming from. Okay. Well, I'm not going to stay on here too much longer. We're over the hour mark. But it wasn't the topic matter wasn't planned on here. But when I got up in the morning and I noticed such a waste in here, it's just who I am. I had to talk about it because the truth is, it is waste. And I don't care if you're a wealthy person or you're a poor person, waste is still waste. Go to Biafra, do that in Biafra as one particular place. There's a lot of places that are poor and starving people. I imagine in Biafra, they're still, starving in Biafra. They wouldn't refuse a meal like this. Oh, you're going to waste that? No, my children, he's starving. His bones are showing. People are too spoiled. They're much too spoiled. So I showed you that food that was left over from last night. Okay, mind you that, yeah, we couldn't put it in the refrigerator so we get to apart in a couple of days. So the refrigerator we turned off. So there was nothing in the refrigerator. Okay. On certain situations, I mean, I'll buy that. That's fine. We do that. We put leftovers in the refrigerator. But I have seen that happen too, even with the leftovers went bad in the refrigerator. Okay, they had extra, but they never went back to eat it. Therefore, henceforth, more waste. I just can't do that. But enough about the food and shit. I think I was quite clear on this, how I feel about that. I know people agree with me too. And one guy said, well, kids, teenagers, whatever, they're not very responsible. I understand that. But that's how they become responsible by teaching them responsibilities. If you don't teach that, like my girlfriend doesn't dwell on this kind of stuff, that's her blood children. She doesn't dwell on this. It's like whatever, maybe it was my money besides hers that she spends too, but maybe it was my money that bought the broccoli and the other meals. That's the point. Otherwise, don't cook too much of one item if nobody's going to eat it. And if there is leftover, fine, cover it up in the proper containers, put it in the refrigerator if you got your refrigerator working. But make sure that it's somebody finishes eating it, incorporate it, in other words, into their next meal. Am I asking a lot? I don't think I am. Maybe you do the same things that they do, and or maybe you don't. You'll understand it. It's a waste. Waste not, want not. Alrighty. Well, now I got to take care of me. I'm going to finish my tea if you don't mind. Ah, and wake up a little more here. And I got to get energized because I got to do at least some kind of exercise this morning. Get my juices flowing here. They're already flowing this morning from all this topic matter. They're flowing all right. Let me do something healthy. Anyway, thanks for watching. Did you get anything out of this show at all? That's all that matters. That's kind of what I do. I try to talk about things that you're gonna walk away from my show and you're gonna learn something, or maybe see things that you normally don't see it, and now your eyes are more open to a lot of little things. It might be subtle things that goes on in your life, or that you realize that holy shit, I've been putting up with this for a long time. Oh wow, the waste I'm seeing in my own family. There's some hard times going on out there now with the economy and all the shit that's going on with Mr. Trump. And you're going to see people that are going to cut down their spending. And they're not going to be saying, because food prices go up, there's not going to be any waste. And it's just the beginning. I don't what else. I don't know what else is going to happen in the near future. Oil prices going up, food prices going up. I think people are going to be a little more stingy with their food. They're going to be, hey, let's make enough for us to eat. Let's properly seal the food, the leftovers, and put them in the fridge. And that's going to be part of your next meal. Well, that's how it should be, right? Okay. Point made, hopefully, point taken.
What a asshole. Oh my God. Over some rice and broccoli. Dude, Frank, we told you they do that because they have no respect for you. And I want to thank Nico's experience for the $10 donation. What a guy. I tell you. The best part of the simulcast is in the one Popeye speaks real facts. Well, thank you, Nico. Look, the other live stream, he said he loves a challenge. Well, I got a challenge for you, Frank. Come live and show a screenshot of your 2 donations. Said you love challenge. There you go. It's been the opinion that Frank wants out. He's broke. He's totally disrespected. If he could get his house money back, he'd already be gone. Yeah, but uh, there's that little thing called hold departure, Mick. He's on hold departure. He can't even leave the country. He's boxed in on all 4 sides, period. And, on one hand, he claims they're my family. Oh, you don't get pissed when kids do shit like that. And you really shouldn't get pissed because, dude, that kid ain't gonna finish that full box of milk. And your refrigerator's broken. You didn't do any maintenance. You didn't have a power strip on the refrigerator so it wouldn't get burned out. You kept it on high all the time. You abused the equipment. And now you're taking it out on the poor kids who don't know any better. Okay? Over what? A couple of broccoli sprouts? Half a box of milk? Give me a fucking break, will ya? You just looking for a fight. And then he sits there and he says, "Oh, oh, see how nice I was about it? Of course, you were nice about it. Eh? You're on camera. You think those kids enjoy being on camera and having over 40 people listen to you bitch them out? See, Frank, when you don't give respect, you don't get any in return. Okay? Because that's all you've ever done is come on and piss and moan about the dishes in the sink. Okay? You're like a fucking 3-year-old. Nobody wants to fucking deal with you. Yeah, all that crying over $2.50 worth of food. Hey, dude, I'm telling you. They and you wonder why people dislike you, Frank. Hey, priorities are all fucked up, but when a surprise from such a yeah, let's see, priorities are all fucked up, but the surprise from when such a fucking expert, Twinkle Toes, is everybody's expert in their lives except his own. Exactly, Nico. You know, Gilda sounded like she was holding back. Dude, Gilda sounded annoyed. Gilda sounded like, really, you're wasting my time with this shit? You know, give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break here. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous. I mean, what do you do with shit like that? I have no idea. But you have your challenge, Frank. Let's see if you can live up to it. Gilda's, you know, let's see, Don C. Mick and you see how they act. Just ignore the old man. uh, Gilda is slowly but surely getting her limit. And that's another thing. All Filipinas have their limits, okay? And they will mock they will mock every unkind word you say to them. Okay? Guaranteed. They will mock every unkind word you say to them. So it is in your best interest to be nice to them. Oh, yeah. I think he's given up on the begging, chasing tail. I think he's giving up on the begging. Guaranteed. I mean, nobody wants to give him any money, you know. And why would they want to give him any money? I have no idea. You know, I have no fucking idea. I mean, because sure as shit, the guy's a waste of human flesh. And earlier this morning, what'd he do? He come on and he cries and whines that he could talk about anything or anybody he wants if they put it up on YouTube. Well, dude, I claim that same right. You put it up on YouTube, so I'm talking about it. You put your family business out there on YouTube, you you criticize those children in front of a public audience. You think they're going to forget that? That's going to stick with them for a long time, Frank. Best to learn the language, otherwise, you won't know they are mocking you and right next to you. Exactly. Yes, after 9 years, you might you might know some convo. I'm pissed. A whole show without any workout tips. How will I know what to do in the gym today? Well, I wish you all the best of luck with that, bro. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Mick. You didn't get your workout tip from the ding dong. He, Mick, he accepts his gym tips in the shower. Mick, it's all about the broccoli. It builds the muscles. Bullshit. Spinach. I hereby order everybody in the live chat after this live stream is over is to eat a can of spinach. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh man, I'm glad he only went an hour tonight, man. Because if it was a 2-hour show, I'd have just ripped the headphones off and sat and watched news for a while. That's right. The only reason why they're being nice is because Frank is the ATM. See, Frank, it's not only me picking you apart. It's all the people in my live chat, Frank. They're picking you apart too. They're laughing at you. They're mocking you openly. Right? I mean, when those kids look at you and Gilda look at you, all they see is a grumpy old fucking yaya. That's all they see. So get used to it. You know? Get used to it, Frankie boy. Get used to it. Because that's the way it rolls. Guaranteed. That's the way it rolls. And if you don't like it, tough kitty. I left the spinach out on the counter last night. I guess I'm screwed. Well, I'm going to have to set up a special live stream, Mick. And I'm going to have to discipline you in front of at least 20 to 30 people listening, you know? McKee said he cannot can of pink cotton candy. It's a vegetable. I mean, so you can't get pissed at me for picking your foolish shit apart. Okay. I mean, Corky Romano is smarter than you, Frank. And he has Down syndrome. And he's an actor. And he makes more money than you. Uh, Frank is better than watching The Simpsons sometimes. Well, that's the way it works, man. That's just the way it works. But, what can I tell you? I mean, the guy pisses and moans, gets no donations, he blocks everybody. You know, uh-oh. Maybe he had a lot of kids' laundry to do, Go-Go. Stanky is used to the humiliation in the BDSM club. I mean, Frank, you got no respect. Nobody respects you in that household. Period. It's just the way it is. Get used to it. And you know what, Frank? You are the one that garnered that disrespect. You garnered it. You asked for it. You set yourself up for it. You've been nothing but a prick in that household since day one. And I can guarantee you, those kids don't like coming there, staying overnight. Hey, he will never get respect and he can't see it. That's exactly correct, Chubba Wubba. Okay. Chubba Wubba also says, I think the skid marks are getting him, and he did the undies today. Next thing you know, he'll be he'll be telling the kids, come into the bathroom. I want to show you how to wipe your ass properly so you don't leave skid marks in here. I wash everything. I mean, dude, if you're going to cry over a couple of broccoli and, you know, a glass of milk that's left in half a carton, you're an idiot. Huh? Oh, man. You're an idiot. So you should just give it a rest. Hey, Frank, stop giving Gilda and the kids money and you'll see how things change. Exactly, man. I mean, once you cut them off from the money, that's all she wrote, bro. That's all she wrote. They're not going to give a shit about you. Period. You know? So that's what we got cooking tonight, man. And it's all about the broccoli and the milk and the rice. Don't forget the rice. All right. But I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. It's always great to see you. I want to thank Gogo Bobo, Original Flying Circus, Mick Fisher, Chubba Wubba, Nico's Experience, Simulacron, Mike Luna. Dude, all you guys are here today. All you guys here today. Chasing Tail, the tail of the chasing. E.T. Travel Freely. Thank you for coming in. Sweet Pea, Superhero, Tango Yankee. All right. So you guys have a good one. I'll catch you on the flip side. Stay out of trouble. All right. This is Popeye One. I'm out.